Thank you for choosing to watch this video. If you want more stock market news updates, please press the like button and remember to subscribe. With that being said, let's dive straight into today's stories. Stocks experienced a significant surge yesterday, marking a reversal of the S&P 500's 5-day decline. This upturn was fueled by the announcement of better-than-expected earnings by multiple technology companies. One of these companies was Spotify, whose shares saw an impressive increase of over 10% after the music streaming market leader reported its first quarterly profit in more than a year. Another technology company that is in the news today is Meta Platforms. If you've been trying to reach Facebook customer support about issues and have received no response, it's because they are currently preoccupied with other matters. Meta, which is Facebook's parent company, has been hit with lawsuits by a bipartisan group of 42 state attorney generals. These lawsuits allege that the social media giant knowingly caused harm to teenagers and children. A majority of states, including Colorado, South Carolina, and Minnesota, filed a federal lawsuit accusing Meta of using addictive algorithms on Facebook and Instagram to target young people and downplaying the potential psychological harm caused by its apps. In addition, the attorney generals in the District of Columbia, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and 5 other states filed separate but similar state lawsuits against Meta. Florida also filed its own federal suit, choosing to pursue its course of action. Meta has responded to these legal actions, stating that it shares the commitment of the attorney generals to provide safe and positive online experiences for teenagers, but argues that lawsuits may not be a productive way to address the problem. These lawsuits may force Meta to implement protective measures. Reports and warnings in recent years have suggested that excessive use of social media platforms, such as Instagram, could be detrimental to the mental health of young individuals. Internal documents from a Meta study revealed that teen girls felt Instagram negatively affected their body image. The U.S. Surgeon General also issued a public advisory in May, highlighting the significant risks social media poses to the health of children. In a broader context, while there is a rising mental health crisis among teenagers, experts remain divided on the relationship between social media usage and overall well-being. Moving away from the Meta situation, Google and Microsoft reported positive earnings outcomes. These tech giants witnessed substantial increases in revenue, indicating a rebound in big tech's growth after a downturn in the previous year. Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, reported an 11% growth in revenue, primarily due to increased advertising sales, reaching approximately $77 billion for the third quarter. Meanwhile, Microsoft's revenue experienced a 13% jump to $56.5 billion, driven by growing demand for its products, especially in the field of artificial intelligence. However, Alphabet's shares fell in after-hours trading as it missed revenue estimates for its cloud division. Now, let's quickly jump over to the world of cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin has rallied impressively, surging above $35,000 for the first time since May 2022. BTC has more than doubled in value over the course of the year, exciting investors who have long awaited the introduction of a mainstream Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. A federal appeals court has officially criticized the SEC for rejecting Grayscale Investments' bid to establish a Bitcoin ETF, deeming the agency's reasoning flawed. Then, a little while later, a presumed ticker for a BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF briefly appeared on a financial clearinghouse's website. These ETFs could boost demand for Bitcoin by providing investors with direct exposure to the cryptocurrency without requiring ownership. In the crypto industry, which experienced a downturn last year, numerous challenges have arisen, including regulatory lawsuits against exchanges, the collapse of the Terra USD stablecoin, and the arrest of its founder. Additionally, the industry faces accusations of enabling terrorism financing. All of this occurs alongside the fraud trial of FTX's founder, who allegedly mishandled customer funds. On a broader scale, Bitcoin's recent resurgence can be attributed to increased acceptance of cryptocurrency within the mainstream financial sector, despite its original intention to circumvent traditional finance systems. You should also be aware that Boeing announced a loss of $1.64 billion for the third quarter due to reduced deliveries of its popular aircraft and increased spending on the construction of 2 new Air Force One presidential jets. Boeing has adjusted its production forecast for the 737 MAX to a range of 375 to 400 planes for the year, down from its previous estimate of 400 to 450 planes. This change is attributed to the need for inspections and additional work to address a pressure sealing issue in the aircraft. Boeing, in collaboration with supplier Spirit Aerosystems, is actively rectifying problems related to rivet holes that were not correctly drilled in the fuselage. Additionally, Boeing reported a $482 million loss in the quarter related to a contract with the Air Force for the construction of 2 new presidential jets, primarily due to higher-than-expected manufacturing costs. The company also incurred a $315 million loss on a satellite contract. Excluding special items, Boeing reported a loss of $3.26 per share in the quarter. However, revenue increased by 13% to reach $18.1 billion. Despite the challenging quarter, some analysts believed that investors' response would be relatively muted. The reduced forecast for their aircraft deliveries was not surprising to the market, as issues with the pressure bulkhead on these planes were already known. Boeing delivered 105 commercial planes during the quarter, a decrease from the 112 delivered in the same period the previous year, primarily due to production challenges. Boeing's CEO David Calhoun expressed confidence in the company's ability to achieve its long-term financial goals. He highlighted ongoing efforts to stabilize the supply chain and incrementally increase aircraft production rates. In a communication to employees, Calhoun emphasized that there is still strong demand for Boeing's planes, which will be crucial for the company's recovery. He acknowledged external concerns about the company's performance, but viewed them as an opportunity to demonstrate resilience and improvement. In other news, RTX shares surged by more than 7% following the defense contractor's announcement of better-than-expected results, a stock buyback plan, and a positive update on its progress in addressing a potential jet engine defect issue. Formerly known as Raytheon, the company reported earnings per share of $1.25 for the third quarter of fiscal 2023, along with revenue of $13.46 billion, where both figures exceeded market estimates. RTX experienced a 16% increase in sales at its Collins Aerospace division and a 3% increase in its Raytheon unit. However, sales declined by 83% at its Pratt & Whitney group due to the need to inspect a widely used engine for a rare condition of powder metal. CEO Greg Hayes stated that the company has made significant progress in these inspections and expects the financial impact to align with the previously disclosed charge. RTX shares had experienced a decline since the Pratt & Whitney issue was disclosed, and the company suggested that this situation presented an attractive investment opportunity. As a response, RTX announced a plan to repurchase an additional $10 billion in stock, increasing its existing repurchase program to a total of $36 billion to $37 billion through 2025. RTX also stated its anticipation of full-year sales reaching $74 billion, which falls at the high end of its previous guidance. Furthermore, the company narrowed the range of its EPS outlook to $4.98 to $5.02 from the previous range of $4.95 to $5.05. In addition to these developments, RTX revealed that an unnamed buyer has agreed to acquire the cybersecurity, intelligence, and services business within Raytheon for $1.3 billion. Lastly, let's talk about General Motors. GM recently reported stronger than expected results for the quarter, with a 5% increase in sales compared to the previous year. However, profits saw a 7% decrease to $3.1 billion due to the ongoing United Auto Workers strike, which began on September 15th. It's important to note that GM's report covered the quarter ending on September 30th, so the strike's impact may be more pronounced in the subsequent quarter. As a result of the targeted work stoppages by the UAW, GM has withdrawn its annual guidance, citing a significant weekly profit loss of $200 million. GM has also abandoned its goal of producing 400,000 electric vehicles by the following summer, as automakers are reevaluating their strategies in the electric vehicle market. Shortly after GM's earnings report, UAW President Shawn Fain initiated a walkout at GM's Arlington, Texas factory, one of the company's largest and most profitable assembly plants. GM, on the other hand, criticized the Arlington strike as unnecessary and irresponsible, and claimed to have recently improved its offer to the union. GM referred to its proposal as a record contract, which includes a 23% wage increase over 4 years. However, Fain argued that it is insufficient. If you made it until the end of this video, then please press the like button, subscribe, and become a member of this channel for more stock market news content. With that being said, I wish you happy investing.